Hey, everybody, it is Orlando Bailey. I serve as the engagement director for Bridge Detroit, and I'm sitting here with Aiyinde Perry. Aiyinde, can you tell everybody just restate your name, your age, what grade you're going to, and what school you go to?
My name is Aiyinde Perry. I am 13 years old. I'm going to the eighth grade, and I go to Paul Robeson Malcolm X Academy.
And that is on the west side of Detroit?
Yes.
Yeah. So I want to talk to you about school. I want to talk to you about the pandemic, COVID-19, as it has become known, and a bunch of other things. But let's talk about COVID-19. When exactly were you uh, taken out of school because of the pandemic? And tell me how you've been doing with the pandemic.
We were taken out of school in March, I believe. And when we had to go to virtual learning, it was hard for me. Like in the beginning part, it was very hard
What was
because
hard about it?
I didn't I didn't do virtual learning before, so I wasn't used to checking my email every day, and the way that we had to turn in the homework, I didn't know how to do it. So I kept having to ask the teachers and classmates for help.
Yeah. So you were taken out of school in March and you transitioned to virtual learning, and it was difficult for you. I want to come back to some of the hiccups that you experienced in the virtual learning space. But just personally, when you heard about COVID-19 and, folks being worried about getting sick, and you're probably worried about getting sick, and the world shutting down, how did that feel for you? How did that affect you?
It it made me feel like mad and sad because people were dying from this and still are, and also I had to be in the house all the time because we were on quarantine and I couldn't really do anything
Yeah. What about it made you mad?
because I'm not able to play sports or those type of fun activities because of the coronavirus.
Yeah, so that made you mad. And you were sad because people were dying.
Yes.
Did you know anyone who had passed away from coronavirus?
Yes, it was a counselor in my school. His name was Baba Fields. He passed away.
Mr. Fields from your school passed away from coronavirus.
Yes.
Tell me what happened when you heard about that.
So this girl at my school, basically, she texted me and said, "Did you hear about Baba Fields?" I said no, and that's when she told me, and I started crying. Then I asked my mom if it was true, and she called another lady who worked in my school, and she said, "Yeah, it was true," and I was crying.
I'm so sorry you had to go through that. I'm sure you and Mr. Fields had to have had a close relationship for you to react that way. That's never fun. And I'm so sorry to hear that, Yende. I know that's pretty sad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to talk to you about your virtual learning experience. You said that you sort of had trouble at first because you weren't used to checking your email. You weren't used to always being in front of the screen. But I thought you guys had like computer labs and screens and things in school. No?
We have computer labs and stuff, but it's not like that. It's like we have a computer class, and the computer teacher he has us like work on our typing and the way we place our hands on the keyboard. And we go to this thing. There's an app called typing.com, and you'll use that to learn how to type better. So that's what we didn't really do. Like he was teaching us how to check our emails, but we didn't really get into that yet.
Oh, so you didn't get into it. So when it was time to go virtual, what happened?
I knew how to check my email, but I didn't really like I knew how to check my email from what my mom told me, but I didn't know we had to be checking it every day and communicating with the teachers and stuff like that.
Every single day. And so you had to learn how to check your email every single day. And then you were saying that you had trouble um, turning in your work. What happened?
So basically, it was this thing where you have to go to a certain area on the app and you have to click on the assignment and you have to take a picture of it. But I didn't know that, so I kept taking the picture and sending it to my teacher through like direct message. And
Got it.
she said I wasn't turning in my work, but I was after she looked back at it, because I wasn't turning in my work where we were supposed to be because I didn't know how to do it.
So how did the instruction work out? How did the actual instruction take place? Was it on Zoom, or did you receive a packet? How did that go?
We started on Zoom, but they shut Zoom down, so we had to do Microsoft Teams. And the only like class I had problems with is math, because I can understand math better in person. I can't really understand it online.
Oh, math was never my favorite subject in it. I hated math. That's why I became a journalist, because I'm like, math isn't like the most fun subject for me. So how did you end up doing on your report card, and how were your grades? Do you feel like that your learning has slowed down and that you've been affected from having to learn virtually, or you feel like, hey, I'm still learning and I'm still strong in my mind?
I think both, because sometimes we were able to get a lot of things done in a class, and sometimes we weren't because the teacher had to redirect, or people wouldn't mute their mics and stuff like that. But I did great on my report card. I had A's and B's.
A's and B's?
Yes.
Super cool. So let's talk about summer. So typically after school, you have summer filled with activities and fun gatherings with your friends and things like that. What did you do this summer?
Nothing. I was going to play
a
football.
lot of nothing.
I was going to play football. I went to the first practice and nobody had their mask on except me and my closest friend KJ. And both of our parents said that we couldn't go back because of the coronavirus.
Because you did have your mask on, right? Your parents weren't comfortable with you playing sports. How did you feel when she took you out of football, your mom and dad?
I was upset because I wanted to play.
You want to play, right?
And this was my last year, like, being on the lower age group, because next year I have to play with people like that's in high school, because that'll be their last year.
Yeah. And so you weren't happy about that?
No.
So tell me about your summer. What have you been doing?
Lately, riding my dirt bike.
Yeah?
And playing catch with the football. And only place I can go is to my cousin's house, and nowhere else other than that.
So I heard that you may have started learning how to mow lawns and things like that.
Oh, yes.
Tell me about that.
So basically, me and my dad, every 2 weeks we cut grass, and we cut my auntie's grass because her son is sick and he can't cut the grass right now. So we cut her grass, we cut our grass, and some other people's lawn, and people who ask us to cut their lawn even when we're cutting.
So you started a business.
Yes.
You started a business, and so you get paid for lawn care service now.
Yes.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Congratulations. I don't know a lot of young people who started businesses during the COVID-19 pandemic quarantine here in Michigan. That's pretty stellar. I want to ask you a question about your friends. Have you been able to physically hang out with your friends and see them? Do you miss them at all? What's going on?
I haven't been able to hang out with them. I miss them, but I talk to them on FaceTime. The only friend that I take that back. I seen my friend KJ and my friend Devon, but we call him Juice. I seen Devon. I seen Devon at my birthday party, but we all had to have our mask on because we were still in quarantine. So we all were standing 6 feet, and people were in their cars and stuff.
Oh, so you just had a birthday. When was your birthday?
May 3rd.
May 3rd. Happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
So, so you haven't really been able to see everybody. So you guys talk virtually. Do you miss being able to hang out with your friends and be carefree and go outside and all of that?
Yes, because it's fun being around people all the time. Like, it's just boring sitting in the house.
Sitting in the house with your parents. How has that been?
It's been okay.
It's been okay.
Yeah.
So can we talk about the school year? So you're going to the 8th grade. This is your last year of
Yeah.
junior high school, which is pretty exciting, right? You'll be going to high
Yes.
school in the forthcoming school year. So what kind of options are you exploring? Are you and your parents exploring? Are you and your parents thinking about virtual learning, or do you want to go back to school and have face to face?
I personally want to go back to school, but my mom and dad, like, they're pretty scared about the virus and they don't want me to get it. So they're really debating because they don't want me to be in the house all the time and not be around other people. But they also don't want me to get sick or anything. So they don't know yet. They're still trying to figure that out.
Tell me why you want to go back to school and have face to face learning.
Because I could see my friends, and also face to face is easier for me
It's
because you get the work
easy.
for that day.
So you
And
learn better face to face,
yes,
and you want to see your friends.
yes.
Do you think you can keep a mask on and stay socially distanced at school all day long?
I believe I can keep a mask on, but I wouldn't say social distancing because in the beginning part, yeah, people do it. Then they start getting like where they start getting too comfortable, where they think that we can be close and stuff now. So
Yeah, yeah. What would the school have to do to make you feel safe?
get the kids tested.
So you would want kids tested. What about the little temperature checks? You want
Oh
that
yes,
too?
that
You want
also, both
temperature
of
checks,
those.
and you want testing for you to feel
Temperature
safe
check every morning and get tested before the school year starts, and probably like every month or something
every
like
month.
that.
So monthly COVID testing for the students and teachers, or just the students?
The students and teachers.
So everybody who's in the building.
Yes.
Okay. Talk to me. There's been some grown-ups have been having, these conversations about uh, police in school. And you go to a DPS school, right?
Yes.
So do you guys get to see the Detroit Public School Community District police officers in your school? Do you guys have police that come to your school and hang out? Or
Sometimes not. It's rare.
it's rare you don't really see a lot of police?
No.
Do you guys have security guards at school?
Yes.
Do you go through metal detectors to get inside?
Yes, we have to go through metal detectors, and they have to check inside our book bags like every day.
They check your book bags every day and you have to go through metal detectors. How do you feel about having to go through metal detectors and get your stuff checked every day?
I don't feel like they think I'm gonna do something, but I also do because I don't feel like we should have to do that.
Why? Tell me why.
I don't think we should have to do that because that's like saying that they think that we could bring a gun or something to school, which we possibly can, but I don't want them like to think like that way. Or I also just like don't like doing that. Because
Yeah.
sometimes that makes me late for class in the mornings if I'm
Oh,
getting
it
school
slows
later.
down. It slows down if you get there a little late. It slows you down a little bit.
Yes.
Do you worry about not retaining what you've learned because learning is so different now? Do you think you're going to retain everything? Do you feel like you're up to snuff or behind at all?
Sometimes I think I'm not ready for the 8th grade, and other times I do. It just depends with certain things.
Yeah, I get it. Is there anything else you want to share about your COVID-19 and education experience, Aiyinde?
No, not that I can think of.
No, but you want to go back to school face to
Yeah,
face. All right. I appreciate you talking to me so much.
no problem.